Alright, welcome back everybody. I had to take care of some business, eat some lunch, yada yada. We have made some progress. I have figured something out here. So, I took the tool here to turn that up, which opened up this area here. Re-ratchet strapped it back to the back axle and have just been brute forcing the cross member backwards, trying to use the cross member to actually push the keyway off of the torsion bar, and it is moving. So we're going to continue to try to get this fucker up.
Thanks.
Yep. I am actually going to move you guys a little over here. No clue if you can see this or not, but alright. And there we go. Now, the problem is that I have distorted this so much that the keyway is stuck in there, but that's what pry wires are for, right? We don't need to pull that back anymore, so we will take this ratchet strap off. And now we just have to focus on getting this old key out of here. So that is your keyway. So this gets frozen to the end of this torsion bar. So I'm going to take some sandpaper, clean up the end of this torsion bar, put some anti-seize on it before I put the new keyway in. But now that I've beat this thing into submission, I kind of have to try to bend it back so that the new key fits in there. You know, or we just force it in there, and then what I have to do is essentially put it on there and then beat it back this way to slide it over the torsion bar, and then get it back to where I can get these holes lined back up, which is not going to be the easiest of tasks, but we will get there eventually. So that is the wrong way, according to everyone, to remove a torsion key. But it's out. So is it really the wrong way? It's up for debate. Okay. I'm going to grab some sandpaper, clean that up, or something, get that cleaned up. Obviously, we are not looking to make this thing perfect. Just get it cleaned up. Not that we're ever going to have to do this again, because at that point, we just do a solid axle swap in the front, get rid of the torsion bars altogether. But for ease of putting it back together, this should help us out some. Let me get some NICs. You will notice I don't wear gloves most of the time when I'm working on stuff. NICs, a drop of this stuff will coat your entire body for some unknown reason. So I do wear gloves for this because I don't want it all over me. So just a little bit of this in here. Put some on the outside of there just to help things slide a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to see if we can get the new key to caress itself back up in here so we can get it put back on. So here is the new key. Oh, fits perfect. Now, here comes the fun part. You have to line the key up with how the torsion bar is sitting in there. And of course, you have to do this blindly. So, this part kind of does suck. So what we may end up having to do is take that ratchet strap and pull this forward until it kind of binds, and then we can figure out which way we need to go with it. So none of these are really the correct way to do this. But I don't know if there is a truly correct way to get something to go that doesn't want to go. You just kind of have to, you know, give it some convincing. Now, this key has basically turned to line itself up with that, right? And now, this key is in there. I know this because I can see the back of the torsion bar back against the back of this now. So now we can take that. We may still need that because now we have to line up these holes again so that we can actually bolt this back down once and for all where it goes. And we won't have to mess with it anymore. We can move on in this project. Wow. We are way off from where we need to be, I believe. Alright, I am going to take this off because this is actually pulling this and cocking it sideways, which definitely is not going to help us in our endeavor of getting everything put back together. So we are going to take this here and use it essentially as a pivot point. Get everything else lined up. Right there. So, take our punch and we pull things forward. Yeah. Okay. We are going to there really is no good way to pry this over because I have nothing to pry against. So these two holes are lined up. But the middle one is off. So and it is off quite a bit somehow. Let's tighten these down a little bit and see if that'll help square this up. No. Okay. Right there. Literally. There we go. She is finally coming through. Okay. Now, I need to find the nut amongst all of this mess. So, as you can see, I tried a number of things, ball joint tools, pullers, presses, air hammer, chisels, anything and everything that I could think of to try to rig up to make this work. And in the end, it was just brute strength. Sometimes that's what you have to do. You know, I've ripped off skin, I've busted knuckles, you know, bleeding, scraped. It all just comes with the territory. So, what we're gonna do now, and I don't know if I'm gonna record this part or not because it's pretty straightforward. Tighten these 6 bolts, 3 on this side, 3 on that side. And then we use the tool for this. Basically, we just tighten this all the way up until we can fit that keyway back in here. And then that keyway will sit with this on top of it. And that keeps it from flinging itself back down. And then there's a retainer bolt that screws into the bottom of that retainer that goes into this dimple. When you pull those apart, you measure. I marked with, you're supposed to count the threads. I just drew a line with paint markers. So you want to put them back in as far as they came out. And that will reset that back to the factory, wherever it was supposed to be, or the last time it was aligned, if they had to mess with the torsion keys. Usually they don't. So I'm going to put this all back together, and I will show you the final result when that part's done. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. 6 bolts, pinch that back up in there, put a retaining block back in, put a bolt in it. So that is where we are at. Both keys are out, new keys are in. Once I get these bolts all tightened back up and put it back together, this allows us to move on to something else. So I will catch you guys on the next one.